Graphing linear equations. This is the most important part right here. These 4 steps right here. So find the slope and y-intercept. You'll be given an equation or you'll be given a table, and you have to find the slope and the y-intercept. Then you graph the y-intercept, use the slope to locate the second point on the line, and then you draw the line through the points. So remember that the slope is what goes in front of the x. So you have the change in y. So that's the number on top, 2. And then you have the change in x, which is the number on bottom. And then the b value is 1, but we like to look at it as the point 0, 1. So then you go over here. Remember that when you go to graph, you always start at 0, 0. And because it says 0, 1, you don't go left or right. You're just going to go up 1. So we go up 1 right here, and we plot a point. Then from that point, you're going to do the slope. So I look at the slope. It says the change in y is 2, so I go up 2. It says that the change in x is 3, so I go over 3, and I plot a point. Once I plot that point, I draw a line, making sure I have arrows on it, or else it's not a line. Then, okay, so let's go down here. So here we have it. We have y equals mx plus b. Now you also probably should figure out what the direction is. This says it's negative, so let's remember that this is going to be a negative slope. So I'm going to look at my change in y. So that's going to be right here. This is my change in y. So negative 2. Then I'm going to look at my change in x, which is right here. So over 3. Oh, I forgot to write change in x. There we go. And now if we look at my b value, which is 4, but we want to look at that as a point, the point 0, 4. So I come straight down to this. I plot my point. Remember, you always start at 0, 0, and then you're going to go up 4. So I'm going to go up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to plot my point. Then from that point, it says that my slope is negative 2 over 3. So I'm going to go down 2. So I went down 2, and I'm going to go to the right 3. And I'm going to plot a point. Maybe. There we go. Now, I do want to say that you could have gone up 2, but remember, if you go up 2, you have to go to the left 3, which would be the negative direction. So you could have gone either way, but just remember that you have to have a negative slope. Oh, that's not going to work. Sorry about that. How about there? There we go. Make sure you have the arrows on the end. Okay, so here we go. We look at this. Again, we have y equals mx plus b, where the m value is the change in y, which is, remember, this is over 1. Oh, I should have done that in black. This is over 1. So the change in y would be the negative 4. And the change in x would be 1. So then we have, this is our b value. So b is equal to 5, which is the point 0, 5. And it's a negative slope, so it's going this direction. So we're going to start over here. We start at 0, 0, which is right here. We start there. I don't want to put that point there. And I'm going to go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to plot a point. It's a negative slope, so that means I'm going down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go to the right 1. And I'm going to plot a point. Now I could still go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go over 1 to have more than 2 points if I would like. It's not needed, but I like to do it. And there we go. So on this one, it says a typical leopard gecko is 3 inches long at birth. So that's where he's starting at. He's starting at 3 inches. This right here will be my B value because that is where it's starting at. And then it has a growth rate of 1/3 inch per week. Because that has per there, this is going to be my slope. So we have the equation, y equals 1/3 x plus 3. So my slope, sorry, I'm trying to get a color. There we go, is 1 over 3. My B value, my y-intercept is 3, and I like to write it as the point 0, 3. So then I'm going to graph that point, 0, 3. I'm going to come here and I'm going to plot that point. Then from that point, I'm going to go up 1, and I'm going to go to the right 3. And I'm going to plot a point. I like to go up 1 again and to the right 3 again, just so that I can make sure that I actually have a nice line. There we go. Now, if you notice, I didn't put an arrow on the left-hand side. That's because you cannot have negative length, nor can you have negative time. So I'm going to come here. It says Jaden has written 6 pages of his novel. He plans to write 4 pages per week. So again, per week, so this is going to be my M value. This will be my B value. So I have my M value as 4 over, remember 4 is over 1, and then my B value is going to be 6, or the 0.06. I'm going to plot that first, and then from that I'm going to go up 4, and I'm going to go to the right 1. Now be careful, because going over 1 here is actually over 2 lines, because each line here is worth a half of a week. So then I draw my line, and voila. Okay. Now, if I'm going to graph a horizontal line, remember, a horizontal line has the slope of 0. If we look at each one of these right here, each one of them, the y value is 3. So where does it hit the y-axis? It hits the y-axis right here. This right here is my b value. Right here is my b value. So if I don't know why they didn't do that. My b value is 3. My slope is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So that means the equation of the line is y equals 3. Anytime you have y equals a number, you will have a horizontal line. Okay, we've already written this a couple of times now. Horizontal line has a slope of 0, and the equation will always be y equals some number. Okay, let's look at this one. So it says y equals -1. That means for any point you pick, y is going to be -1. So I come here, -2, -1, -2, -1, 0, -1, 1, -1. So all of these points are going to be on this horizontal line. Okay, so for this one, I like to do T-charts instead of doing points. I always put these numbers, but it says y is -6, so y is always going to be -6 in this instance. So -1, -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have points here. That is going to get me a horizontal line, and voila. Okay, so this one, we have a vertical line. That means all the x values are equal to -2 here. So anytime you have a vertical line, that means you are going to have an undefined slope, and the equation is going to be x equals a number every single time. So here, let's go down here. So x is equal to 4. So they picked these 3 points that x is equal to 4. So 4, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, -2, 4, 0, 4, 1. So it's all along this line here. Okay, on this one, x equal to 7. So again, I like to make t-charts. So 7, 7, 7, -1, 0, 1. So I go over to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I plot my points. And again, I get a vertical line. Okay. The Garcia family is driving from Philadelphia to Orlando for vacation. Their equation is y equals -75x plus 1,000 represents the distance in y in miles that the Garcia family has left to drive after X hours. Their friends, the Snyders, are meeting them in Orlando, but are driving from Cincinnati. The equation is y equals -70x plus 900. Again, represents the distance y in miles the Snyder family has left to drive after X hours. Which family has more miles left to drive after 7 hours? So all I want you to do is plug in 7. So if I plugged in 7, I'm not even going to use this stuff right here. I'm going to say y equals -65x plus 1,000 and y equals -70x plus 900. And I'm going to plug in 7 hours. So all I would do is replace this with 7. So y equals -65 times 7 plus 1,000. Okay, use your calculator. Oops, didn't like that for some reason. For some reason, my 65 times 7. Sorry, my calculator did not like that it was dark in my classroom. And I add on 1,000. And I get y equals 554 miles left. Then I come over to this one and I plug in 7. Oops. That'll get me -49. Sorry, 490 plus 900. So y equals, that's going to be a 0. That's going to be a 1. 410 miles. So the question says, which family has more miles left? So the first family, so the Garcia family has more miles left. Sorry, left. Let's see if I should have been able to do this in my head and I didn't. Left. They have 135 more miles than the Snyders.